Hi everybody, I am Dixie Kane. A lot of you know me as VSG Sotherbell. Um, in exactly 11 days, I will not be VSG Sotherbell anymore. Um, I am going to just be Dixie Kane, but I am having RNY surgery done on August 2nd of 2021. I had VSG done back in October 6th of 2014. I had to go through 6 months of pre-op dieting um, on my last go round. I started at 300 pounds and I got as low as 178. I saw it for a day. No, correction, 187. And I saw that for just one day. And then the scale slowly started going back up and it paused at 223 for a good year, 2 years. And then it started to climb up again and it paused at 244 and it stayed there for a good 2 to 3 years. And then all of a sudden in this past year, I started noticing the scale going back up again. And I had decided to finally, I've had enough with my surgeon and arguing with my surgeon about my surgery, about my um, you know, I had been arguing with him since I was very early out on my last surgery and telling him, that I didn't have restriction, that no matter what I did, the scale just kept going up and up and up. And he kept telling me go back to liquid diet. That's all he would come up with. And so finally, I just out of the blue here back in um, December started noticing that scale really climbing. And I got as high as 260 when I finally sought out a new surgeon. I took the advice of two friends and two of my very good friends, and I took up their advice and I finally went and saw a new surgeon. And he had brought up the duodenal switch. And I've always thought about having the switch. I kind of wanted it for my first surgery, but was told that they don't do it here. And so this surgeon was in the same office as my last surgeon. I was hearing a lot of really good things about this guy, and his name is Dr. Hovey. And everybody kept telling me go see Dr. Hovey. All the weight loss patients from here in town, when I would go to the meetings, I would hear such good things about Dr. Hovey. So I contacted them and I asked them if I could make an appointment for, can I make an appointment to see Dr. Hovey? I'm kind of considering maybe, I said revision at that time. That's the only thing I ever heard it called at that time. And she corrected me and said, you mean a conversion? And so I said, sure. And so she made the appointment. I went in and I sat down with him, and he brought up the duodenal switch, and he said he thought I would be a good candidate for that at that time. But then he also decided that because of my story and a lot of my symptoms that I was having with acid reflux, and I have what's called silent acid reflux, silent GERD. And they decided that it was maybe time to take me in and have me scoped. So I showed up for the scoping, and he did it himself a week later. And during that, he had found that I have a lot of sores starting to form from the GERD, the silent GERD. And he also did see, because I told him I thought maybe my hernia was back, because I was having a sensation which felt like a baby's head pushing up under my ribs, and like the baby's head was sitting in there and turning like this. And it was painful, and it was very uncomfortable. And so he did say, yes, your hernia has returned. He explained to me that what caused my hernia to return was the chronic constipation that I had from the VSG surgery. That is, if you are a VSGer, I don't know how many of you actually out there admit to having constipation, but it became an extreme, real issue with me. From day one, I was like, I even did a video on constipation where I was hospitalized from it. And they made me do a 32-ounce Gatorade Zero to a medium-sized bottle of Miralax. Yes, a whole medium-sized bottle of Miralax to the Gatorade Zero, and shake it up really, really good. And I had to drink it within a half an hour. Yes, I thought, this is not working. And 5 minutes later, I'm running off to the bathroom. And I sat the rest of that day in that bathroom. I could not even leave it. So that does work. If you are completely plugged up, that works. But I did not understand that having chronic constipation can make your hernia return. So if you've had hernia surgery, if you had your first surgery and you had your hernia repaired, it is vital and crucial that you keep your stools soft as you can from here on out, if you do not want another hernia repair. I do now have to have my hernia repaired. So during my conversion from a sleeve to a bypass, is when he will repair that hernia. Yes, I am going to do a bypass. I really, really, really wanted the duodenal switch, but he drew diagrams for me, and he also explained it like this. Well, looks like my phone's waking up. He explained that the tube coming out of your stomach going up your esophagus, there's a valve there at the top of your stomach, and there's a flap that comes, this is the valve, and the flap comes down over the valve. Okay? And he explained to me that I have a sleeve, so it's shaped like a banana, and there's a valve at the top of my stomach. But he also said during this scoping that I have a huge, his words, huge sleeve. And he said he agreed with me that he did not think Dr. White had done the sleeve small enough for me. And he said that is why I could not get restriction. He said that though I said I also see a lot of evidence of you stretching out your sleeve. And yes, you can stretch out your sleeve. And it is not hard to do. So if you have a sleeve, you need to be very mindful of your eating. Know when to stop. Now, I didn't have restriction, and I never understood that you have to stop when you're satisfied and not full. And I was eating to fullness. And that little bit of extra eating made a huge difference in how my sleeve performed. And yes, I started stretching out my sleeve. From a sleeve, it was stretching out to a normal stomach again. And so he said my sleeve is huge. But what happens is, here's your sleeve, and then you're stretching out your sleeve. But you see with this valve at the top, it's also being pulled away from the valve. The flap is being pulled away with the sleeve. So what's happening now is my valve is not closing over the valve. The flap is not closing over the valve. It's closing, it's missing. So therefore, when I get my gird, the gird comes back up and it shoots past that opening. Do you see what I'm saying? So here's the flapper now. The flapper is back here instead of over my valve. So here's my flap. Acid reflux is shooting right up through there. And he also said that the flap is very extremely weak. And it's sitting kind of cocked at an angle. So shortly after my sleeve, I started noticing that when I would drink any liquids, and it only did it with liquids, I would cough and I would choke on the liquids. That is another sign that your flap is not performing its job correctly. And so my flap doesn't come down and close all the way because it's been pulled away. So it comes down and it closes at an angle like this. And so naturally the GERD's getting through. When I'm drinking, the liquid's coming down and the flap is not opening all the way. It's staying at an angle, so the liquid is hitting the back of the flap and shooting back up, and that's what's choking me. And so that valve has to be completely gone now. So when they do an R&Y, they cut just below that valve to create your new stomach. And that valve goes with your sleeve. So it does away with that valve. And they bring in a new tube, and they connect from your intestines, and they bring it up and connect it at the top of your new pouch. And then they bring in another one for the bottom, where they have shortened, where they have cut away, and they bring the new shortened valve up to the bottom. And he explained to me, so that valve will be completely gone, and I won't choke and cough, and I won't have the GERD anymore. Because now, instead of the stomach fluids coming in at the top, where it used to come in, it used to come into the tube at the top of your stomach. It is now going to be bypassed to the bottom of the stomach. And it's going to go in to the intestines under the stomach, under the new pouch. So that takes the GERD away, because now it's got this big long channel that is going to have no acid introduced into it. So after he explained it to me and I realized that this is going to fix my coughing, my choking, and everything, I told him, yes, let's go for the RNY. So I am having the RNY procedure done on August 2nd of 2021. That's exactly 11 days from today. Today is July 20th. And I am to start my liquid diet on the 22nd, but I am starting my liquid diet today because I was told I do have fatty liver, and I want to make sure that my liver is good to go the day of surgery. And I did 14 days on my last time. I most certainly can handle doing 12. So I'm going to be starting my liquid diet today. And I'm going to start my day off with just flavored water. This is left over from yesterday, so I will finish this off here within the next hour or so, and I will go make me plain water. I switch off. I'll do one bottle of water with add-in, and then the next bottle I will do just plain water. So after this is gone from yesterday, I will continue on with plain water for the rest of the day. Or I am thinking about making an herbal tea, kind of like my friend told me to take herbal tea and just add boiling water and to the bag. I was thinking about doing it sun tea style, where you fill up the jar with water and you put the tea bags in and set it out in the sun. She said a quicker and faster way is just to use boiling water, put in the tea bags, and then let it cool down a little bit. Put it in the refrigerator. So I'm gonna try that today. I'm gonna make me some sun tea for tonight, or some herbal tea for tonight. So I can have herbal teas or decaffeinated teas. I really couldn't find any decaf tea, so I did find a few flavors of herbal tea that I'm going to try and make me tea that way. I'm also going to do carnation instant breakfast. Now, I tried to go to the store and do it off of memory, and I bought the wrong one. I bought essential high protein, thinking, oh my gosh, I can't remember exactly what one I was supposed to get. And I thought, in my head, high protein? Yeah, that's got to be good. And then it says, and here, I'm going to adjust you just a little bit here. I'm going to blur me out so that you guys can see. Hold still. Okay, there you go, guys. So I got Carnation Instant Breakfast Essentials High Protein. And what got me was the fact that it says 2 times the vitamin D, and that is still very blurry. Okay, I guess it wants it in closer. So 2 times the vitamin D, 2 times the calcium, 21 vitamins and minerals, and 15 grams of protein. So I'm thinking, yeah, that looks good. That's good. And I didn't have my glasses with me. I just had cataract surgery, and I walked off and forgot to grab my glasses. But then you go to the back. And I did not go to the back. I did not read the back. But we're going to read the back together real quick. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can read with you, okay? It says, 6 grams of total fat. Saturated fat is 1 gram. Trans fats are 0. Cholesterol is 10 milligrams. Sodium is 200 milligrams. Total carbohydrates, and this is where it gets bad, guys, 26 grams. Daily fibers, 1 gram. Then it says total sugars. Do you see what the total sugars are? 12 grams. And then includes 12 grams of added sugars, guys. So if you was to add that together, that's 24 grams of sugar. And then 15 grams of protein. Sounds really cool, right? But what hooks you when you're buying, and if you don't read the back, this looks really super good. 2 times the vitamin D. I'm very low in vitamin D. 2 times the vitamin D. 2 times the calcium. 21 vitamins and minerals. And 15 grams of protein. Sounds good, right? What I should have gotten, and I did try one, and it is so sickening sweet. And anybody that has a sleeve can tell you that after surgery, your taste buds are going to be like a brand new baby's taste buds. And you're going to not be able to handle that amount of sugar, okay, of any kind. Not even if it's artificial sugar, you're not going to handle the artificial sugars in this shit. So, here's what I should have got. Carnation Instant Breakfast Essentials Light Start. Light Start. What are the things that kind of hooks you for this one? 21 vitamins and minerals. 13 grams. Oh, look, where the grams of protein made it to the top now. 13 grams of protein. So it has 2 less grams of protein. 3 grams of sugars. 12 grams to 3 grams. 3 grams of sugars. And 150 calories. So you're getting 50 less calories. So then you flip it around to the facts. And remember, you want to be reading your facts. 4 grams of total fat. This one had 6. Saturated fat, 1 gram. Trans fat, 0. Those are the same. Cholesterol, 10 milligrams. That's the same. Sodium. This one had 200 grams of sodium. This one has 160. Now this kind of blows my mind. And let me get you in there. 17 grams of carbohydrate. To 26 grams of carbohydrate. 1 fiber. That stayed the same. Total sugars, 3 grams. This had 12. Includes 3 grams of added sugars. This had 12. So 6 grams of sugars total to 24 grams of sugar. Protein is 13. This one's 15. You're only getting 2 extra grams of protein, guys. 2 extra grams of protein is not worth it. $26 grams of sugar is not worth it. So make sure you're buying the blue cap, not the green cap. If you are a weight loss patient, do not buy the green one. So, which one sounds better to you now? Light Start. Remember to get Light Start, guys. If you are a bariatric patient, do not fall for the high protein. It goes to show you that when they say don't fall for high protein gimmick on everything, this is one of them. It's a good example of why you should not follow that. You need to be mindful and read the facts on the back of your products. 200 calories, 150 calories. So this one is not going to be in my diet. This one my husband is going to drink. He is a he needs it for his legs for healing. So I'm going to give this one to him. He will drink those up for me. But I am going to be doing the Light Start for the liquid dieting. And I will be doing it after surgery too. Light Start. So this is my breakfast for this morning. I haven't tasted these yet. I did taste one of those and couldn't stomach it. I had to give it to my husband. And it was so sickening sweet. Let me zoom you in here on me, you guys, so that you can see my gorgeous face. Why won't it clear up? I had this problem last night too. I have a manual zoom, and it doesn't want to. There, I think that's about right there. So let me see. Sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy. Okay, so make sure you're reading your labels. It's highly important you're reading the labels. Do not trust the gimmicks. Don't go by the gimmicks, you guys. You have to really read the labels. And I'm learning a very valuable lesson off of that. So, cheers. Oh my gosh, it's so much less sweet. It's good. So I'm starting my liquid diet off with the carnation instant breakfast and water. And that's what I'm planning for my liquid diet for today. To start with. Okay, so we are officially off on the liquid diet with a Light Start. Good stuff. Okay. So, yes. So I'm going to be having the RNY done. I took measurements. I started my new journey back in April, and I only had to do 3 months of dieting with, but it was not mandatory. I'm on a different insurance, and it was not mandatory that I had to follow through with the 6 months dieting this time. For the conversion, I only had to do 3. And I did not have to do half of the procedures I had to do for the sleeve. I had to go in and I had to test for pylori, and I had to test for I've never had to test for sleep apnea or anything like that because I do not have that. So I got lucky there. But I did have to do the upper GI and all that other stuff last time. I had to do 2 or 3 other things that I didn't have to do this time. All I had to do was the upper GI, which he did instantly the week after I went and saw him. He did it, and that's when we realized that yes, I had the the sores forming on the esophagus. And you do not want, if you're having a lot of GERD, get in and get checked by your surgeon, because it's highly, it can turn into a form of cancer, guys, esophageal cancer, and you do not want that. So be on top of your health when it comes to the sleeve. That is one of the things that sleeve can cause sores on your esophagus that can turn into cancer. So make sure that if you're having any kind of acid reflux, you're letting your surgeon know so that you can get on the proper medications, and he will scope you to see if you're forming those sores. If you're forming those sores, they may want to convert you to a bypass to remedy that. A duodenal switch will not remedy GERD, you guys. So if you're having GERD with your sleeve and you're going to have a conversion, if you convert to a DS, you're still got your sleeve, so you're still going to have the GERD. It is not going to take away your GERD. So make sure that you're on top of your GERD and letting your surgeon know, and make sure that you're doing your homework on what's going to fix your GERD, because a duodenal switch will not fix your GERD. If you have GERD, it's not going to fix it. The only remedy is to do away with that valve at the top where your acid is coming into the top of your stomach. And you got to do away with that valve at the top of the stomach. It's got to come in from under your stomach and be introduced into your intestines with the food, rather than in your pouch or your stomach. So please do your homework on this. I did measurements, and back in May, and I did measurements last night. And let me just tell you, I'm not going to read them off to you today, but bless me, I was blown away, you guys. I knew I had lost weight, okay, because I could see it in my clothes. My shelf butt is gone. A lot of my breasts have gone. And the big pouch, the big poof where my hernia is, has gone down. Yes, the hernia is still there. I can see it. And I can feel it. But it was really out there back in April when I saw the surgeon. It was very noticeable. And, it's flattened out a lot. So, but I'm not seeing much. I'm not seeing like a drastic drop in my weight or anything, but I am seeing it in my clothes. So inches count, you guys. Do not go by that frickin' scale. Inches count. I lost 17 inches. From my neck to my ankles, I lost 17 inches, you guys. And the biggest areas I lost it was my chest, my hips, and the big part of my stomach. The place I lost it the most was my breast. I lost 5 inches in my breast, in the chest area. So do not go by the scale. Another thing, yesterday I had my yearly, I was due for a PAP, and to get away from paying for it, I did it as my yearly physical so that I wouldn't have to pay for the visit. So during this, my family doctor looks at me and he says, "Dixie, have you lost any weight in this process?" And I looked at him and I said, "Yes." Guys, I started this journey at 260 pounds in April That's my high weight for the new surgery, 260. I am down, on my home scale, I am down to 233. My doctor's office always weighs me in 7 pounds heavier when I get my clothes and my tennis shoes on. I usually weigh in at about right around 6 to 7 pounds heavier. So I weighed in yesterday at 241. So did I lose weight during this journey? Well, Dr. Anderson, I only had to lose for 3 months. That's pretty darn good for 3 months to lose 20 pounds. When you consider you're only supposed to lose an average of what is it like? I think the first week I lost like a pound. Second week I only lost maybe a pound. And then I sat at certain pounds. I sat forever at them. But I was seeing the inches going away in my chest. I was seeing the inches going away. I lost like an inch in one arm, an inch and a half in another arm. I lost 2 inches in one thigh and no inches in the other thigh. I lost like 3.5 inches in my waist. So, but the answer is yes. I did lose weight during this journey. But I lost more in inches. And I can't wait to tell him that on Monday when I go in for my pre-op physical. And I'm going to look at him and I'm going to say, Dr. Anderson, I may not have lost a ton of weight in that 3 months that you can physically see, but I lost inches. And that's just as important. So remember that. 17 inches I've lost through my whole body. That's a damn good start in my book. So the shelf butt that I had is so much smaller. It came out around. Now it just kind of comes just barely out and around. And I'll show you here in a minute. So keep that in mind. Inches count too. So yeah, I weighed in at 241. And so we're starting the liquid diet at 241 pounds according to his office scale. But I'm going to continue to go by my scale, which is 233. So we're going to see how I do on the liquid diet over the next 11 days. I hit a wall back around day 3, day 4 last time. And I'm hoping that I do a little better this time than I did last time. But I did give in and have a small peck of food, nibble here or there of something when I was feeling weak around day 6 or 7-ish. The headaches finally dissipated, but I was extremely, extremely hungry. This time I plan on doing a lot more of the soups and the puddings. I really stocked up on soups, and I bought lots and lots of boxes. I'm going to do the Fairlife fat-free milk. So I bought Fairlife fat-free milk because we can have that. And I'm going to use that to mix up my puddings. I'm going to go buy a couple more of them over the next couple of days. I'm going to go buy a couple more Fairlife milk so that I can make lots of pudding, sugar-free pudding. Now make sure you're buying sugar-free now. I stocked up on all kinds of different water enhancers. Um, but I have learned over this last 6 months to drink a lot more water, which I did not do with my sleeve. I did mostly all water enhancers, and that is something I am not going to do with my new pouch, is put in a ton of sweeteners. I'm going to try and get off of the sweeteners as much as possible. Um, I stocked up on. I'm not going to do juices. We're allowed to do juices. I'm not doing juices. I didn't with my first surgery. I'm not going to incorporate them on this one either. There is plenty of sugar in your protein shakes. There's plenty of sugar in these. There's little bits of sugar in your um, uh, yogurts. And I did stock up on a lot of yogurts. I lost a lot of my refrigeratable stuff for my diet. I lost a week ago. We had a very bad storm that rolled through, and I had no power for 2 days. Um, and that was long enough for all my popsicles that I made, my sugar-free popsicles, to melt away. Yes, I cannot find sugar-free popsicles. I make my own. Um, if you're out there and you want sugar-free popsicles and you cannot find them, I do not have a Sam's Club membership. I do not have a Costco's membership. And I've been everywhere looking for sugar-free popsicles and cannot find them. So I made my own. And if you want to make your own, you can do it with sugar-free Jello and a water add-in of your choice. A Jello of your choice. And they have to be sugar-free. And then 2 cups of boiling water and 2 cups of cold water. Just make sure that you dissolve it really good with the boiling water before you add your cold water. And then you pour it into your molds and you freeze them. And what I did so that I could get really far ahead is, your molds only come with one stick. What I did was I took my molds and I put masking tape over say this is my mold, and there's one here, 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 one here. I put masking tape over each column, and I put a little slit in the very center of each mold. And then I put popsicle sticks. I bought popsicle sticks. They're cheap. Walmart has them cheap, like 99 cents for 50 to 75, something like that. And put the popsicle stick very gently through the slit so that it stands straight up. And then I put them in the freezer, and they slowly start to kind of tilt to the side. So I come back in about 15 minutes later and I straighten them up one last time. And then I let them freeze the rest of the way. Then I take them out of the molds. When they get set up, I take them out. I thaw out the mold just a little bit, pull the popsicle out, put it in a big gallon size bag, Ziploc bag, and then I do it again with a different flavor of Jello and a different flavor of an add-in. I've done peach Jello to the crush add-ins, and I did find that pre-surgery I needed a slight bit more taste. To me, it was more like eating ice with a slight bit of taste. And so I did add in a packet and a half pre-surgery. But I made some in a different bag that are for after surgery, that have only the one packet of flavor add-ins in it. So I have some that are for pre-surgery and I have some that are for after surgery with less sweetener in them. Um, so make sure that if you can't find them, you make some. Easy to do. I've done like cherry cherry raspberry jello to cherry add-in, or I've done a peach to a cantaloupe add-in. Oh my god, those are to die for. You guys, try it. Peach jello, and the Walmart carries an enhancer that is tropical. It's a cantaloupe flavor, and I love cantaloupe. And this is a way for me to taste cantaloupe without having to just, have it as a fruit. So I can still enjoy my cantaloupe flavored in a drink form. So I bought lots of those so that I could have cantaloupe flavor every morning for breakfast or whatever. And so yeah, so I'm all set to go for the liquid diet, and I just officially kicked it off with a Carnation Instant Breakfast. Light start now, guys. Light start. Good stuff. That I can handle. That other one, the high protein one, was so sickening sweet. It will make you vomit if you are already asleep. So vitamins. I stocked up on. I always done Centrum chewables, and I've done just fine with Centrum chewables because my stomach was oversized and I was getting the full nutrition from my food. So I was able to always do the Centrum chewables for my first surgery. I have to stop. I am no longer to do that. So then I ordered from Celebrate. What happened to my Celebrate vitamin? I ordered a Celebrate vitamin. It must be down there in my box. Yes. But they sent me the wrong one. I thought I ordered chewable and I got capsule. So I'm going to save these for when I can do capsules. Right now, when I first start back onto the vitamins, I have to have chewable or liquid. So I won't be doing these right away. I'm going to go to my pharmacy. Now, my hospital pharmacy carries a couple of different brands of bariatric vitamins that you can buy right there at the hospital pharmacy. And they run right around $40 a bottle, a 30-day supply. But they do carry the chewable in the pharmacy, so I'm going to go and get the Celebrate chewables at the pharmacy rather than wait for them to come in the mail. Although I have plenty of time to order them, I just want to make sure I have some. I'll order some. I'll worry about ordering them later. But I am going to go to the pharmacy hospital, and I'm going to pick me up a Celebrate chewable for after surgery. And I am doing. I have been very low energy, and so I'm doing the Nature's Bounty B12 5,000 milligram to help with my energy levels, and that has helped. And it's a chewable. It's sublingual. And you just put it under your tongue. I can't do vitamins on the liquid diet, so I'm not going to do it. The only one I am going to continue to do up till the just before surgery, is my blood work came back, and the only thing that I had wrong with my blood work was two things. I have too much calcium in my blood. So I was doing the French caramel vanilla chewables from Bariatric Pow with the multivitamin and that. But I stopped doing them because I've got too much calcium. And the reason that is that they found that I have thyroidism. Yes, that's another reason why I could not get the scale to move and still cannot get the scale to move. I am fighting that scale. And so I have hyperthyroidism. But he said that it is not, like, at this point, it's in the range where they just want to watch it for another 6 months to see if the surgery will kind of fix it, kind of thing. So they also found that my vitamin D levels were extremely low, like extremely low, like 21. Yep. So they told me vitamin D 5,000 IUs a day. So I did get, Celebrate just happens to have the sublingual vitamin D, and I need to get me some more ordered, but I have been taking them, and I will continue to take the vitamin D, which I will take one right now, up to my surgery day because of how low my vitamin D is. So you just put under your tongue and it dissolves. Dissolves really fast. But that's it for me. I will need to do a calcium, vitamin D3, B12, and a 1-a-day vitamin, guys. You only need 1 a day. If you go with I'm like, where's my glasses? Bariatric Pow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to mess with the focus. But it says multivitamin 1. And it comes in a chewable, too. So I'll just be doing the 1-a-day vitamins. The B12. The vitamin D3. 5,000 IUs. And I will be doing the calcium chews after surgery. So I'm all set there. I have my Bible. This is my bariatric Bible. And in here it tells everything that my surgeon wants us to do. And it has phone numbers and everything for us to call. So this is my patient education guide. It's the Bible. It also has a daily quote in here. And it specifies in here the amounts of food that you can have and the types of foods that you can have. So like, So I've got that all set and right here so that I can refer back to it. I also, in preparation for my surgery, and this is important if you are wanting surgery and you're not sure if your insurance is going to cover it all, check your hospitals to see if your hospitals have my hospital has a program that will help you pay for surgery if you fall within a guideline, an income guideline. And I fall in the income guideline because I'm on Medicare, and I only get a half a payment every month. My husband gets a full one, I get a half one. We both cannot get a full one if we're married. So it puts us in the poverty line, under the poverty line, and so we are able to qualify for financial assistance. So check your hospitals to make sure that, see if they have a financial assistance program that you can get on in case your surgery is not fully covered. My insurance did pay 100% on my sleeve surgery, but I have a different insurance and I'm worried that it may not cover it 100% this time. So I will be turning this in the day before surgery. I will be turning this in to the finance when I go to pick up my vitamins. There is also, they want me to pick up Tylenol. It's a new type of Tylenol that comes in a pixie stick, and they want me, you just pour it on your tongue, and it dissolves on your tongue, kind of like Pop Rocks. And yeah, so they want me to pick that up the day before surgery so that I have it for after surgery, for when I get home, for pain relief. And I will be turning that in the day that I go pick up the vitamins and the pixie sticks from Tylenol at the hospital pharmacy, and I will stop in and I will give the financial assistance department my paperwork and income. I've got all my income copied off here and everything, and I signed the forms, and they're all ready to go. I just did not date it yet. I won't date it till the first of the month, and I will go turn it in on the first of the month. And then when I check into the hospital, all I've got to do is tell them that I did sign up for financial assistance. And when I get billed, if I get billed anything from the hospital, all I got to do is tell them that, hey, I filled out for financial assistance, and I know I qualify because I have had to do it 3 times this year already to pay for different testings and whatnot. So hospitalizations from constipation, hospitalizations from my diverticulitis, and that kind of thing. So so I've got that ready to go. So I'm all set, you guys. I'm all set and I'm ready and I can't wait. I also just want to thank you all for stopping in and watching my video. I know my videos are long. I try so hard to make them shorter, guys, and I just cannot do it. So please hit the like button down below, the thumbs up. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get, and hit the little bell so that you'll get notified of all my videos. I'm going to come back the day before my surgery, and I will give you the new measurements, because I will do some more new measurements, and then I will read you off the measurements from my first, then I'll read you off the measurements from my second set of measurements to where I lost 17 inches, and then I will also give you the measurements from my liquid diet over the 11 days. So that's where I'm going to end, you guys. I love you all. Please, please stop by again. Follow me. I could use the support. I am praying so hard that this is my time, that I get a good outcome this time from the surgery, and that I can finally get my health in final check and good order. Um, my family doctor's scaring me a little bit because he's totally against RNY. He would rather I do the duodenal switch, but it's not going to fix my problems to stay with a switch. It's going to create, he wants me to redo, he wants me just to have a revision from a sleeve to a sleeve, but studies have been shown that a sleeve to a sleeve, you don't really lose any more weight than 25 pounds. And I have a lot to go, you guys. I have a long ways to go. And do I want to go through another surgery for 25 pounds? No. So he's not happy that I'm going with gastric bypass, and it's not his choice. So I want something that is a little more malabsorptive. I'm willing to do the vitamins. I was willing to do it for a duodenal switch. I'm very much willing to do it for a bypass. So we'll see where we go. He keeps telling me I'm going to regret it, that I'm going to be back to want it reversed. Good Lord, I hope not. I hope he's wrong. But that's where we are today. So I love you. I'll see you all later. You guys have a wonderful day. Mwah! Bye-bye.